So I want to thank you so much for tuning into the always informative, always entertaining The Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Relsano. Through our episodes, you've heard me mention this young lady's name numerous times. She was going to holler at me about the desk, holler at me about something, but she's the best. We love her. She is the, put that back up, to the Chief Content Officer for WBC Live and Vive Television Network. She's a great girl. Talk to her all the time. Always love seeing her and talking to her. Danielle Jackman. Danielle, thank you so much for being on the show.
No, thank you guys. Jim, Claudio, Luther, it's an honor.
Well, it's our honor to have you on. You know what? Let's start off from the get-go. Tell us how Vive started.
Okay, well, I'll give you the abridged version for the sake of time. Vive actually started over a decade ago, more as a lifestyle entertainment channel and with an emphasis on the subject of wine. But my co-founder, John Jackman, wanted to get into live, and we fell into sports. And you may have actually been at the same event that John was at in 2019 at Twin Rivers Casino, Claudio. It was on February the 23rd, 2019. And we were doing a proof of concept with some pretty major broadcast players like Harmonic and Globecast and Grass Valley. And we were proving up 4K HDR high dynamic range at that event with, by the way, it was Jimmy Birchfield's event,
right?
Incidentally, and Joey Cusimano, who's also
That's
been
right.
on this show,
Yeah.
Was one of the contenders. So we were pretty pleased with the results of that. And that was the, I guess you could say, the impetus for our foray into boxing. So within a year or two later, we had convinced the WBC, World Boxing Council, to give us the opportunity to brand a 24/7 channel. And the mission has always been, so here I get into probably right into the next question. The mission has always been to create a destination for the fans and the fighters, and for it to be free as much as possible. So yeah, I think we met you three about 2 years ago, this month.
2 years
as a matter
ago,
of fact.
this month we connected. I woke up one morning, as I always do. Well, thankfully, I wake up. And I saw on Fight News that you guys, Vive Television Network, was connecting with WBC and going to have a 24/7 channel. So I just wrote you right away. I said, we have a great show, and presented it to you. And then we did a... I sent you a pilot show, but I sent you some other videos. And here we are 2 years later, which is crazy that it's been 2 years, 178 episodes later. Here we are.
No, you guys are incredible. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. When I heard from you, that was music to my ears. And we actually had to wait 6 months to issue that press release. So just imagine where we would be now. But speaking of waking up in the morning, there are not very many days that go by where I don't check to see what's on air, and it's typically the Boxing Authorities. So I have deemed myself your number one fan because I have probably single-handedly consumed more hours of the Boxing Authorities than the three of you combined, or anyone else for that matter. But I do it with pleasure.
I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you like about us?
Well, as I've said ad nauseum, I love your chemistry. You guys don't even look like you have to try to make people laugh. You know, you add a dose of humor to a lot of things, and you also argue with each other, and then the Notebook, and I mean the list goes on and on. And then, not to mention, I like the intro and I like the backdrop, but it just never fails to hold my interest. It's amazing to me that you all can go on for 45 minutes, and you would keep going on if we'd let you.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Now, tell us about the How big of a deal was that for you to be connected with the WBC? It's boxing's #1 federation.
Absolutely. No, I don't think that we would have been able to do it to the scale that we've done it so far. And it's a really huge deal. But what I really want to emphasize is, of course, maybe I'm biased, but we know the WBC quite well. There's a very small number of people behind the scenes, especially at the HQ in Mexico City. And they all, I mean, every single one of them seem to be like genuinely good people. So we feel extremely blessed to be associated with the WBC and to help proliferate their message about safety for the fighters, rules and regulations. I know there are controversies and we don't really get involved with that, but at the end of the day, we really wanted to create this platform together with the WBC to give fighters a way to communicate. And I know that we haven't seen a lot of that necessarily up to date, but this is a very pivotal time in the history of the WBC Live channel. We're building a community for the fighters and the fans coming soon, that's going to be announced. And the WBC has been behind us every step of the way. As long as we've got their support, I think that ultimately fans are going to they're going to appreciate the channel more and more, and the role that sanctioning body plays in the sport of boxing and Muay Thai.
All right, and Danielle, the viewers, how can people see Vive Network, Vive? What ways?
Right. So for the time being, our blood, sweat, and tears is all going into the WBC Live channel. It's a massive undertaking because what we are endeavoring to do long term is bring more free live boxing and free live Muay Thai to the channel from all corners of the globe. As you know, the WBC has offices in about 180 countries, and there are fighters whose names have probably never been spoken aloud on a broadcast channel, and we want to change that. But to answer your question more succinctly, we have keepboxingfree.com registered so that if someone wants to just watch on their mobile device, tablet, or browser, that's where you go. We're just about to launch an entirely brand new second generation of apps, which will be a lot easier to find for boxing fans because it will be branded WBC Live, or they will be branded WBC Live, and they're going to be available on every screen from, of course, the usual suspects, but also Samsung devices and all connected TVs for that matter. Channelbox is another one of the distribution outlets we've teamed up with. It's a free ad-supported streaming TV network. It's an aggregator, and they're available worldwide on mobile devices as well as in the UK on Review Channel 271. But there will be more venues to come, more live events, more venues.
I know you mentioned Channelbox, and we've gotten a lot. That's where we've gotten the bulk of our emails for our mailbag segments from Channelbox. So you guys are definitely out there. What has been the biggest challenge, challenges for you to go to that next level?
To be honest, I think it's the live event production. We're big on scaling down the cost of streaming high quality live events. I mean, there are a number of events that are streamed live in, maybe 720 resolution or less on YouTube and Facebook. But even then, it's fragmented. So the biggest challenge is trying to get the promoters on the same page, because really a rising tide lifts all boats. If every lesser known promoter, we're not talking about some of the big US or big UK promoters, but the rest were to come together and bring those live events to a singular platform, there would be a bigger audience and a lot more advertising and sponsorship money to go around. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Luth?
Right. I know a lot of our fans in Pittsburgh are saying, how can they get some of their live events, with you guys? What would they have to do? What would a Pittsburgh promoter have to do to reach out to you guys?
Well, we're very open to U.S. stateside promoters as well as promoters abroad, further abroad. But we would start with a conversation about, the probably like if we could actually, if the network could be responsible from top to, head to tail for all of the broadcast concerns, and the promoter could just focus on everything about the event and may I mention that it is not inexpensive to put together a professional or amateur boxing event here in the United States. I've priced it out myself, and it's important. It's imperative for the promoters to be able to make money in some fashion. So ticket sales to cover at least the expenses for putting together the event. But we would have a very honest and open, transparent conversation about that. I mean, really, from our standpoint, we want quality. The matchmaking is important because the audience ultimately wants to see
good fights.
True. Yeah, they want to see something that's compelling, and the quality of the actual broadcast itself.
Right.
But we're very much here for in tandem with the WBC for the promoters.
Mm-hmm. Now you said you priced out. How much is it to promote an event? You said you did some pricing. What is that? Just to tell the viewers the expenses that go into it.
So in my limited experience, when we were pricing out the Green and Gold tournament in San Antonio, Texas with Jesse James Leha, never mind what it costs a promoter to license or what the sanctioning fees are. I have no idea, or commission fees, but just to fill in, get a venue with the ring. The rings are expensive. Mm-hmm. The chairs, the rental of the chairs, LED signage if you want to make it really over the top. It can run in the neighborhood of $80,000 to $100,000.
Okay.
For one night. So it's not, and there's all kinds of expenditures that maybe the typical fan doesn't really focus on. Judges get paid, doctors physicians, ringside physicians get paid. They have to have an ambulance on call. There's
security,
the referee, the security. That's a big one. Yeah. So ring announcer, and the purses. We're very keen to increase the size of the fighters' purses as well. Like a massive reason for establishing this forthcoming community, soon to be announced, is to put some more money in these athletes' pockets, because many of them have to hold down multiple jobs. Not everybody is endorsed by Hennessy or Gatorade. They struggle to make ends meet. Plus, they have to train.
Now,
so we want to keep as many athletes in the fold as long as they want to and their health can sustain it as possible.
We just said it's been 2 years, and I remember when John was going to speak with me, I remember I had to pull over and went to this pavilion in this park out here in Pittsburgh, and 2 years flew by, obviously. But if it's up to you, Danielle, you have a magic wand. In 2 years, where do you see this business, this company, this project, this organization at?
Okay, fair question. Obviously, number one is more live events, more content, like evergreen content, and newsworthy, like current event content, more interviews with fighters, possibly spin-off channels, which is very, very much a potential reality. Like, for instance, right now we're talking about having a WBC Live India channel, because there's a burgeoning boxing scene in India that a lot of the native people don't even realize exists. And they may have a 24/7 channel in Hindi, for that matter. And we can certainly make that happen. We've really kind of worked hard on building the infrastructure. We also would want to see the athletes that are a lot more athletes featured on the channel in the ring as well as outside of the ring, telling their stories. And then a robust community of fans and fighters and talent like yourselves, where you can meet on neutral ground and engage in various activities like one-on-one or like Q&A sessions. It's not necessarily televised, but as members of a community, the participants will be able to have experiences, very unique experiences that aren't otherwise possible on other platforms.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll be a part of that plan in 2 years. We love doing the show. And after every text or conversation that you and I have, I always end it with, I appreciate you. And so I'll end it with that as well. We appreciate you. I certainly appreciate you. And hopefully we can continue to grow and overcome a few things and still get to that finishing point that we all want to get to. And again, I appreciate the opportunity for sure.
Thank you, Danielle.
No. Thank you, Luther. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Claudio. It has been a delight.
And hopefully you still like us after you meet Jim in Dallas.
I count on it. I'll see you in Dallas this week, Jim.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to meeting you and John.
Thank you.
All right. See you later, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Okay, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that interview as much as we did. When we come back, more Boxing Authority news. We have a big fight that was signed for October. Some other things that are going on in the boxing world. So come on back to the Boxing Authorities. All right. Thank you for coming back to the Boxing Authorities. Luther broke the news. WBC interim super middleweight champ David Morrell Jr., 9-0 with 8 knockouts, will fight David Benavidez, 27-0, 23 knockouts in October. First of all, where did they say the fight was at?
I didn't see where the fight is at, but let's start. It's happening because Canelo is refusing to fight David
Either one of them.
Benavidez for $50 million.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, an offer was
What's
sent.
the reason?
He's a duck. Canelo doesn't want to
50
fight.
million?
Yes, and there's nothing. But we're looking at Dave. This is why he doesn't want to fight him. David Benavidez, power in both hands. He can hurt you. He's nonstop. He can take a punch. Not always great with his defense, but he's a monster, the Mexican monster. Canelo says he represents Mexico, but he doesn't want to fight the Mexican monster.
Can I interrupt you?
Go ahead.
Jim, what possible excuse? The man $50 million and he refused to fight David Benavidez. And please don't tell me he don't deserve it. 50, I don't care. He would fight me for anybody. 50 million is 50 million. Why would Canelo refuse that fight?
Well, you got $300 million in the bank, number one. Number two, we don't know that it's $50 million. This is what his promoter was saying. And number three, again, I say it again, David Benavidez, who's going to get beat by David Morrell, don't deserve to fight.
How does he
But
not
John-
deserve it? But John Ryder did.
How much did he get for
but
Ryder fights?
Andy Yildirim did.
How much did he get
Not
for the Ryder
$55
fight?
million. Those guys deserved it?
Pardon
Did
me?
John Ryder
I think
deserve the
that's
fight?
bad. I think
Did
that's
John Ryder deserve the fight? Yes or no?
As a
Jim?
fan,
he was a
as a
mandatory.
fan, as
And
a business,
so is David Benavidez. He's a
as a
mandatory.
Canelo business,
belt.
as the Canelo business.
John Ryder didn't have a belt.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did
Yeah,
not.
interim
No, he
belt.
did
No.
not.
Yeah.
That's not a
No,
belt.
no,
he did
no.
not have a belt.
He didn't win the interim belt after
Zach
he beat him.
was a
Parker and
mandatory.
John Ryder
It
was
the
not for a belt.
mandatory.
No.
It
Jim-
was a mandatory.
Jim, I'll say this, Luther, you're not going to agree. As a Canelo business, I agree with not fighting Benavidez.
He would beat him.
Okay,
Listen.
no, but as a fan,
disgusting.
that's not right.
It's disgusting. And I know we want to get to this fight. I told you
Oh, yeah, I'm
Canelo's
sorry.
either going to fight Edgar Berlanga or he may fight Badu Jack. That's what I'm calling right now. The cruiserweight, 40-year-old cruiserweight champ who just beat your boy Makabu. He's fighting one of those two
I'm 0 for
guys
2.
next.
Makabu and Miller let me down, boy. They let me down. Okay,
But
so this fight,
they-
Morrell and Benavidez, you know what I'm going to say about it, but go ahead. It's all yours.
Listen, I think this is a fight. These are two of the best guys at 168. David Morrell, great boxing skills, great trainer. He has Ronnie Shields as his trainer. He can do it. He can switch. Conventional southpaw. He does everything well. Great hook, great jab, great movement, great legs, and he's been schooled. He came up through the Cuban School of Boxing. It's going to be a tremendous fight. I think Benavidez has fought
Is he fighting his
better
father-in-law?
competition. Huh?
I thought he was fighting his father.
Oh, see, come on, man. Listen, I think Benavidez just has a little too much experience. But
Thank
it's going to
you.
be it's
Thank
going to be
you.
the fight. Well, I mean, listen.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying,
He
Luther.
may, but
it's
this is
not the time.
But
for
his
Morrell to
age,
fight.
Sugar Ray Leonard was fighting for championships at 24.
That's a different
This guy,
ballgame.
no, this guy has a lot of amateur experience. This is a great
Amateur's
fight.
different world.
It's a different world, but there's nobody else for this guy to fight.
Ray Boom Boom Mancini was on
my
a tear,
goodness.
knocking people out. The most popular fighter in the world at the time. He fights Alexis Arguello, was winning the fight. Then Alexis went like this, turned it up, boom, and
It
Boom
happens.
Said, he said, "If I'd had a little more experience, how many times?" I think they're rushing David Morrell. I don't think he should be fighting Benavidez. I know you're not crazy about
You know they're about the
Benavidez.
same age, right? There's not much difference in their age,
It
right?
doesn't matter, Luther. It's the fight experience.
Listen,
Can I ask you
listen.
guys a question? Okay, are
You
we
wanna
better?
marinate
It's
fights.
a great show. No, it's a great show, and I say this all the time, and I'll keep saying it. It's the best boxing show out there by far. But our show one at 178 is better than it was
Yeah.
at number 10, number 8. Experience. I think I'm a better age 58, better baseball coach, and I was damn good when I was 23, but I'm better now. Experience. I don't know which fight it was recently that we watched that the fighter was getting hit. He didn't hold. He didn't stop.
Right.
Muhammad was great at that. When he was in trouble, he would hold to get his bearings back. That's experience. Do you think that
You strike when the iron's hot. This is the hottest fight at 168. Make the fight. I'm glad these two warriors are stepping
but
up.
you have something. You have a real prize here in David Morrell. He check marks all the boxes. To throw him in against Benavidez at this stage, 9-0, I don't like it.
Well, I'll say this again. I've been telling you guys a long time, and Luther be throwing him under the bus after this fight. Benavidez, that's not that good. David Morrell is going to. He's going.
two-time
What don't you like about
David-
it?
A two-time
What don't you like
WBC
about it?
champion. Okay.
Number one.
A two-time belt holder.
Forget
Go ahead,
about
Jim.
losing the belt on the thing. What do you
the
call it?
scale.
Number one, he's a straight up and down arm puncher for the most part.
Okay, but that arm
This is
hits,
a-
Lou,
Well,
Jim.
it hits guys like Lou calls C-level fighters. We're
Plant?
talking about
Plant's not C-level.
elite,
Darrell's not C-level. Go
Plant
ahead.
ain't been the same since Canelo.
Oh,
But
stop.
I'm just saying, this David Morrell is on a different level. I thought 2 fights ago he would have ate up. I'm surprised that David Benavidez, maybe he needs the money, is fighting
Don't start
Morrell.
this pocket watch
Because
stuff.
this is a mismatch for him.
How is it a
He's going-
mismatch?
in my
For who?
opinion. Can I have an opinion?
no,
Or you the only one that has an opinion?
Well, my opinion's right.
Pink Panther?
Who's the mismatch?
Huh?
Who's the mismatch?
The Morrell is just such more
He's gonna
better
beat him?
technically. He's going to eat him up. It's going to be worse than T.O. did against Luther's boy Josh Taylor. I mean, it's just
think
like
so? He's gonna
it's
outclass
just
him
night
in
and
other
day.
things.
The only guy on the planet that can beat Morrell and he'll beat him to death is Canelo.
Jim, listen.
That's the only one
Jim,
that can beat him.
Jim, you've never liked Benavidez. I don't know why.
No.
You're mad because he lost his belt on the scale
Twice.
and didn't.
Yeah,
He
he's
didn't
not
lose
the
it
first
twice.
one.
He lost it once on the scale and once because he had cocaine in
That's
his system.
twice. And
But that's
that's
not
twice.
on the scale.
That's twice.
That's not on the scale.
No, well,
Let-
I said
let's-
he
let's
lost
be-
his title.
let's be
Well, in a
specific.
scale, in
You
a
sit
sense.
on the scale.
In a sense,
Oh,
on the
yeah, the
scale.
scale, right. I like that, Claudia. But the point is, we don't know if Morrell can take a punch. Can he take Benavidez?
Exactly,
punch?
that's what I'm trying to
We
say.
don't know. But listen.
And what happens
I don't-
when you do?
So did you like the fact that Mayweather and Pacquiao, it was
No. No.
marinated?
But why does it
Did
have
you
to
like
be-
the fight
why
that
does it have
Bud
to be this or
Crawford
that?
and Spence was marinated?
Why does it have
No.
to be this or that?
It's ready. They're both in their 20s. They're both in their prime. Make the fight. So what if he loses? Can he come back?
Yeah.
Is this the end of his career?
But does the shine go off his-
No.
off his-
No. Listen, okay, you're not undefeated. That's only nowadays. Back in the
True,
day,
true,
a guy would
true,
lose,
true.
and that's how I want to see. I want to see if these guys lose
boxing
and
was
come
But
back
how
better.
will it affect him?
Boxing
T.O.
was the number one sport back in the day.
Luther,
That North race.
Tarifalo lost. He didn't know what was going on. Who else lost that they were acting funny?
Jermell Charlo
Charlo.
lost.
Okay, but I'm saying
But they
you don't
come-
know
but-
how he's going to react.
But see,
Lamont
that's
have
what-
lost a thing. Sugar Ray, I'm going to fight
But
him
you
again.
want to see how they
Same
come
with
back.
Sugar Ray. I
You
lost
want to
to
see how they
Lamont.
come
Okay,
back.
I'll get him.
Did you see how Jamel Charlo came back
Against Harrison. Did
Against
terrific.
Harrison
Did
and
terrific.
knocked him out. He had a draw with Castano. He came back and knocked
A
him out.
lot of these
You wanna
guys-
see these
37-year-old
guys come
Harrison,
back.
37-year-old
It doesn't matter.
A
He's
lot of
still
these
the top
guys,
contender.
Jim, and you know it too, when they lose, they disappear.
Yeah.
They disappear.
Yeah.
You know, how do we know how he's going to react to the
Wilder
punch?
is
Wilder
Wilder's
came
won.
back and came
He
back knocking
disappeared.
guys out.
It's one-
Disappeared.
Stop it,
thing.
Jim. You're going to
How
stop
did
this.
Mike
I'm
Tyson
just
react?
saying.
How did Mike Tyson
How did he
react
disappear?
to
He's
get
still-
beat by Buster Douglas?
Yeah.
Well, he went to jail after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because he lost?
Yeah, he went to jail. So it was a whole lot that
I
happened in
just,
that
if I'm
period.
Morel's people, this is me. Again, separate the fan and the business.
Where's he
I
going
look
to
at
go?
this young
Where's he
man,
going to go?
He's a good-
Claudia, where's he going to go? He has the WBA. He's #1 ranked in the WBA. He has the regular belt. Where's he going to go, Claudia? Who do you want him to fight if he's not going
Who
to fight
else?
Benavidez?
I think, okay.
That's what I'm saying. He has nowhere else to go. Canelo's
What's
not
the
going to fight
rush?
him. He's in the prime. This is a big money fight. It's prize
How
fighting.
much is it? You mentioned big
It'll
money.
be as big as payday.
How much is it?
I
You
don't,
know?
well, they
You
haven't
don't know.
negotiated yet, but it
Okay.
will be as big
You
as
just threw
payday.
it out.
No, it's a fact, Jim.
Threw it out.
So his other fights were as big as.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay,
You
well,
would-
you're proving
okay,
my
would
point
you,
then.
Would you, he doesn't have to
I'm
fight
not
for
a
a belt
pocket
just
watcher
next.
like you. I'm not in there negotiating
It's
the
prize
contract.
fight last
Luther,
time.
would you do this? And we talked about this, about how to move a heavyweight, but it's really a fight.
But I'm asking you to give me a fighter. You don't want to
Okay,
fight Benavidez.
maybe fight another
Who?
number 5 guy. Whoever's ranked number
He's
5.
why would he go
Plants
backwards?
available.
Okay.
Plan can't have 3 losses in a row.
Fight Ryder. Okay. Somebody who's going to challenge you a little bit so you
Neither
know
one
what
of
it's
those-
like
nobody-
to get hit. So you know what it's like to come back from a hit. Okay? When a lot of the great
When
champions,
you're ready,
when
you're
Muhammad
ready.
or any of those guys, when they got hit, Foreman after he lost them
You act
during
like
the
he's-
fight with Ali,
Claudio,
he knew
you're
how to
talking
react
like
to
he's
that.
19. Claudio?
In a sense, he is.
No, he's not. Come on, listen.
I'm shocked that Benavidez is fighting him. It's
Oh, I'm
gonna
not.
He's going to clean.
Who's he going to fight?
Morales gonna
That's what I'm
clean
saying.
up.
The
He's
problem
gonna clean
is Canelo's holding those belts hostage.
He earned those.
I've said
No,
this about
he's
Ben
holding those belts
Roethlisberger, the
hostage.
old Steelers quarterback. Might not be the greatest ever or the greatest when he was playing, but to me, he was the most dangerous.
Who?
Ben Roethlisberger. He was dangerous. I mean, that man, it was like 3 seconds left and they were at the 6. He'd find a way. He's dangerous. Benavidez might not be the best or this, that, and the other thing. Might not have the best jab or whatever.
Doesn't have great
but he's
feet.
dangerous.
Yeah, he's
right.
dangerous.
Both of y'all said about Josh Taylor 2 years ago. And
I didn't say
told
anything
you
about
then.
Josh Taylor.
Yeah, you did. I got it
No.
on tape. Y'all both loved it. Ooh, yeah.
There is no tape.
Ooh,
There's no
yeah.
such thing. He's dating
Yeah.
Back then, he was 28, 27.
And
he
I
was
told
never
y'all
thought-
then.
I
I
thought he
told
was
y'all then.
overrated.
And he was
Same
doing-
thing I see with Josh Taylor, I see with Benavidez.
No,
But when
don't
he
even
gonna
Get
go-
lit up. He
Don't
gonna
even
get lit
compare
up.
the
videos,
two.
he didn't
Who
say-
gonna
he
win?
Don't even
said
compare
to me.
the-
Who you got winning the fight?
I got David Benavidez
Same.
winning.
Case
You know,
closed.
I got
Case
David
closed.
Benavidez.
I do
Case
too.
closed.
You
And
know?
I
Put
hate to
that
say
in
that.
your
But I
pipe.
think it's gonna-
Put that
I
in
think
your pipe and smoke
Listen,
it.
no matter who loses, I'm
think-
still going to
I
support them
think-
because they took this fight. And
No,
that's what Warriors
no.
do. That's what Warriors do, Jim.
Effie Ajaba took the fight and you do
No,
it.
listen.
Joe George, you
let's-
can't even
let's do-
fix your mouth to
let's do-
say
let's
Joe
do this
George is
right.
going to win in his hometown.
Listen, I'm going to see. I'm going to see if he
you
made some
throw-
adjustments.
you just
F.A.
like the rest of the
Ajagba
promoters.
left his trainer, left the promotion company, and was thrown into a fight he wasn't prepared for. Completely different.
Who?
F.A. Ajagba.
That's what I'm saying.
When he fought Frank
is
Sedgwick.
Morrell prepared?
He's had the same trainer. He didn't leave his trainer and take a
Shields
step up fight.
ain't nobody special.
Shields
ain't nobody special.
Shields has some great fighters.
Shields
Charlo.
ain't nobody special.
In
He
your
got a great
opinion,
fighter
in your
now.
opinion.
David
He got
Morrell.
me and you can
David
train
Morrell.
Morrell.
David
He
Morrell.
learned him
Jamal
Cuba.
Charlo.
Shields ain't
He
special.
had both Charlos. Ronnie Shields has some great
He
talent.
ain't special.
Let me ask you this.
In your
we
opinion.
talk about it all the time.
His
You know,
titles
as-
say he is special,
As Johnny
Jim.
Lalonde said, MMA, they just pound you. Boxing, the sweet
Yeah,
science.
yeah.
It can Morrell, not that Benavidez, so I'm not riding the fence, or not that Benavidez can do that, but can Morrell deal with a boxer? Can he deal with a big
Mexicans
punch? We
don't
don't
even
know.
endorse him.
The Mexico monster.
They don't
I
endorse
is
think
him. I ain't
David
heard
Morrell-
of
to smoke.
I
Mexican
think
yet.
David Morrell is one of those crossover guys.
What?
I think he's got the look, he's got the
He
personality.
been running
This-
away. He been
Claudia,
running away
this is
from
why he
green
needs to
tea.
take that fight. This is why he's in the prime of his career. If you want to be a crossover star, you got to step up and fight
If he
the big
wanted
fights.
it, he'd have went to 175 long time
Who are you
ago.
talking about?
You talking about? Oh, you said Morrell. I thought
Jim,
you
Jim,
said
you
Benavidez.
lost again. Keep
My
up.
fault.
Keep up,
I
brother.
can't keep
up.
them straight.
Keep up, brother.
I can't keep
Man,
them
that's
straight.
CTE. If you were
Yeah, I
Morell's
agree with you.
people,
Morell's a
if you were
crossover.
Morell's people right now, would you have him fight Benavidez?
Well, his people still in Cuba. He can never see him again.
Jim, stop, Jim.
They want him out. I just think
He
he's
can
special.
never go home again.
I think he's special.
He's like the guy, my favorite baseball player of all time, Perez from the Reds.
Perez,
Yeah,
Tony
he
Perez.
could never go home
Remember the
again.
pitcher for the Yankees? What was his name?
Was he Cuban too?
Yeah, remember he came over in the boat and all.
No.
Who, your
I just-
your
I just-
your
I just
Danish,
re-
not your
No, no,
Danish.
no.
I just
I know
remember.
what you're talking about.
I just remember Violet Blue. He wasn't Cuban, was he?
Oh, come on, Jim.
He was good. Just recently.
Now you're
passed,
gonna have
unfortunately.
Cuba on us, Jim. We
Are
can't even
you
broadcast in
in all
Cuba
honesty,
anymore.
all kidding aside, you're a huge Canelo fan, right? Are you
Everybody
disappointed?
should be.
Are you, I don't know why. Are you disappointed he's not
20
fighting?
world champions he fights.
Jim,
No.
Jim, can you answer
There's
the question?
nothing he can do to
Jim,
disappoint me.
Are you disappointed he didn't fight? Who would you? Okay, all kidding aside, would you rather see Canelo fight Ryder or Benavidez?
Ryder.
Oh, come on, Jim.
Ryder.
look, here's one
Tony,
thing.
get him off the picture. Just me and Luther.
Because-
Camera too.
listen,
Look at this. See, Tony's good.
Listen,
boy.
if I'm in
And
his
Tony,
shoes,
you did some other things this show that were
let
good
me just
too.
say this.
That we'll tell you about.
You're a baseball coach. You don't believe in scrimmages, right?
Right.
Listen, if I'm Canelo, I'm fighting a guy that I know can
cherry
guarantee
pick.
to make weight or guarantee
Jim,
not to
that's
fuck
not on
again.
him.
Jim,
I'm not
I'm done
gonna
with you. I mean,
I'm not going to train.
not
for-
on him. What the
I'm
hell
not
does he
going
care?
to train.
He's a
Listen,
fan.
let me
You're a
fin-
Canelo
can I
fanboy.
finish?
Can you
Can
say
I
something that
finish
makes some
the reason
sense,
I
please?
picked Ryder? Number one, Ryder was a mandatory. Number two,
So
I'm
is
not going to
Benavidez.
train for 6 months for somebody I don't know
But you're
who's
still
going
gonna
to be
make a
able to
buck
make the
on it.
weight.
I think that's where it works.
Huh?
Jim, that's an
can
excuse.
fight anybody. That-
he hasn't missed weight in how long?
He already been two
No,
time
it's
loser.
been one
He's
time.
a
No,
two-time
it's
loser.
one
gonna
time.
lose.
He's
He
a
lost the scale
two-time
one
loser.
time.
That was not
Jim,
going to happen against Canelo.
I would fight him
That was
if I'm
not gonna happen
Canelo.
against
If I'm Canelo, I was only
can't-
fighting
you can't
at
ask a fanboy
175
anything.
because I think he can make 175. I'm not sure he can make 168.
He's
Okay,
made
then
it.
he
Did he
should
make it
contact
against
the
Plan?
Benavidez.
Did he make
If
it
he
against
would've-
Caleb Plant?
In
With
my
flying
opinion.
colors.
Luther,
In my
if he
opinion.
did right, but if he just said to Benavidez, "I'll only fight you at 175 for 30 million," Benavidez wouldn't have done it.
He would have done it. Listen, man.
I look. All due respect, he's a Hall of Famer, the whole nine
Yes,
yards.
yes.
I just don't see it.
I'm disappointed with the way he's moved in his
Yeah,
career.
I don't see
all these guys.
I don't
Now,
see
one
the
thing I
zone
did-
giving him that. That's the first thing I sent you guys. 300 and some odd million. Again, I go back. You call me old school. It's right school. Sugar Ray Leonard, give him double. Mike Tyson, give him double. Evander Holyfield, give him double. George Foreman. all
Luther,
those-
you're a deacon. What did it say in the Bible? Where I was blind, but now I see. Sooner or later, you'll be able to see Canelo.
What's-
You're just blind
Okay,
right
let me
now.
ask you a question. Okay, we mentioned a bunch of fighters today.
We're
Google
always-
may have seen. You knew you were going to get your money worth. Why? He brawled.
Right.
Muhammad, beautiful. Sugar Ray Leonard was beautiful, and he could hit you as a finisher.
Finisher, yes.
What is it in baseball? This guy's name's John Mercurio from Philadelphia Phillies. He said, Claudio, when you scout a guy, and you're obviously a very successful NFL scout, what can you
He's not that successful.
what
Go
can you
ahead.
put your hat on? If I say Lou Brock, what do you say? Speed. Ricky Henderson, power, speed. Dave Parker, everything. Joe Namath, arm.
Prejudice. You're prejudiced. You guys are both.
Can
let me
you
just
answer
say
the
that.
question?
No,
What do
let
you
me
have
just
your
say
hat
that.
on?
No,
Canelo?
listen.
What do you have your
Answer
hat
the
on?
question.
Can I answer?
Vinny-
I'm trying to
Vinny
answer.
Paz was a
I'm
brawler,
being-
boss.
Can
Don't
I
say
answer?
we're prejudice.
Can I
Answer the
answer?
question.
Can I answer? The greatest fighter of all time, maybe, was Jack Dempsey. Gene Tunney beat him. Gene Tunney got one loss. Nobody talks about Gene Tunney because they don't
that got to do with what I'm
appreciate
saying?
Can
greatness.
you answer the question, though?
Yeah, he's Gene
that's real.
Tunney. He's Gene Tunney.
He was a skilled
He's
boxer.
Gene Tunney.
He was a skilled
He's
boxer.
Gene Tunney,
What is
one of the
Canelo?
greatest of all time.
Educate me.
Who beat the greatest of all time?
Educate me.
Without saying another fighter,
And
what
you guys
about
gotta
Canelo?
appreciate
Educate-
Oh, my
fights.
goodness. He
Okay,
can't.
we got
You
that.
can't do it.
Educate me. Make me. Okay, here, do this. My wife Linda don't know who Canelo is. Educate her. Make her a Canelo fan. Go.
330 million.
Besides that.
330
No, no.
Besides that.
As a
He
fan,
can do-
we're not
he-
talking
he
about
can
his
do
wallet or his bank
everything well.
account.
Like what?
There's nothing that he can't do well.
Is he great on his
can-
feet? Does he have good feet? He has
Yes.
great feet?
Yeah.
He's a
beautiful
mover?
feet. Beautiful feet.
moves his head a lot?
Beautiful
I just
feet.
don't. I mean, I'm not saying he's awful. I didn't say that.
Other than Sugar Ray Robinson, there ain't been none better.
Wow.
Other
You
than
talking about
pound
physically? You
for
talking
pound
about
for
physically?
pound. Other than Sugar Ray Robinson, in my opinion, there
So
ain't
he's
been
a
nothing
better fighter.
What about
Wait,
that
I know I'm gonna get you right now.
than Sugar Ray
Remember-
Robinson that fought heavyweight or cruiserweight? No.
Remember when we did that segment
fight
here,
heavyweight either.
like one of our maybe 10th one, where we had build your best fighter from jab to body. We had Muhammad's
And we
feet.
didn't have Canelo
We had
for anything.
Mike Weaver's body.
And we did not
had-
have Canelo
right,
for any of those,
Right.
Jim.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. You put a blonde hair on him. You guys love him.
Oh,
I'm
And
telling you, it's
Luther,
pretty.
did I prove my point?
Just like
We
my
didn't say one-
neighbor. Just like my
Look,
neighbor.
here's
They got him
here's the
out
real
there.
thing. He didn't even put something from Canelo
No,
on there.
not one thing.
You didn't even. We did our build our
I
perfect
think,
boxer. I
okay,
don't
you're a
think
baseball. Reggie Jackson, go. What do you think of?
Power.
Okay,
Power. Listen,
Nolan
but-
Ryan, what do you think of?
here-
Fastball.
Fastball. But here's
Canelo,
one thing.
what?
Another guy I want to throw out. I think Canelo may fight Jamal Charlo because he hasn't fought in 2
I'll
years.
take that.
That's a possibility.
Well,
that's
yeah,
rumor.
you hope.
That's rumor.
Come on,
I don't
That's-
like it that
that's
he's coming
rumor.
after
That
2
you need to
years
get off
fighting
the
him,
Black
Luther.
Network.
No, that's
he
the
ain't
rumor.
fight
I don't think it's a good
Charlo.
idea for Charlo after 2 years. Look at
I
Tate.
don't think so either, but that's what Canelo does.
Oh, you're right,
This
okay.
is what I'm saying.
No, he
Go
fights
from Ryder,
20
And
world
Berlanga,
champions.
you're right, because
How many world
he's a
champions
name,
did Charlo
and people,
fight?
oh, I thought
and
he's a
also
name.
Badu Jack. Oh, well, he has a belt. Those
He's
are the three.
106.
There's
There has to be
nobody-
a reason, not somebody who's been fighting.
Nobody
a
in the
day for
history of
BJs.
boxing other than Floyd Mayweather has fought more than 20 world champions. Canelo's fought 20 world champions.
Jim, but you know
20
yourself.
world champions.
We gotta be
No,
honest.
no,
We
no.
gotta be honest. Luther, there's belt holders.
Yeah.
In all due respect, there's belt holders.
Is
and there's champions.
Benitez a belt holder?
And he's better than a belt holder.
He's
No,
a
no,
champion.
no. He's not.
He's a
forget
two-time, he's
about
a
it.
former
He's
two-time
Is he
champion.
better than a belt holder?
two-time
Yes.
loser. He's a loser.
Who?
Two-time
He's
loser.
undefeated. He's
Benitez.
undefeated in the ring.
Well, he won't be
He's
soon.
undefeated in the ring.
How about his jewelry? How about his hardware? He don't have that. He's wearing suspenders because he ain't got a belt to
Luther,
keep
you
it.
made a great
Because
point
Canelo's
about
holding,
Charlo.
Canelo's holding him hostage fighting
And he's
John
gonna
Ryder.
say, "Oh, I beat Charlo, one of the all-time. He's a great. We haven't fought in 2
2
years.
years.
It's smart though.
But if
we're
you're
going to
Char-
separate
if
it.
it's Charlo, do you take that fight? Do you come back after 2 years and fight Canelo?
No, I would not. It's a business. You have to be smart about it.
point.
Charlo
He's been
should
wanting to
not fight.
He's been wanting to fight
His
Canelo
brother.
for a while.
He been
No,
wanting to fight
see,
his
look,
brother.
here's one thing that I do not like, and this is you're riding the fence because you are taking, punishment. You cannot sit out. You can't fight once a year and still remain sharp. Sparring is a completely different ballgame. Charlo out for 2 years. You're going to fight Canelo? No, you fight somebody who's ranked 10. Then getting back in shape. Let's say you fight in August against the number 10.
Why not fight Canelo? Because he's a killer, right?
No, that's smart. It's business. It's smart business.
Right.
You fight at number 10. Beat the hell out of him in August. Then you fight Canelo. I mean,
Right.
yeah, in
I think this
December.
I think
in
this
December.
coming
You know what I'm
back
trying to
after
say?
a whole year,
Deontay Wilder,
2 years.
one round knockout, should not have waited another year. He fought in October. Fight somebody
Disappear.
good in November.
He's
Or
gonna
not
age out.
November. I'm
Listen,
sorry.
He's going to age out.
January.
He's
Listen, y'all
gonna
got to
age
stop
out.
talking about
Why
this.
is it that, again,
Heavyweight
a
champ
human
like that.
body's a human body? Robinson and Lamada beat the hell out of each other, and they
Different
fought 2
era,
weeks
guys.
later, Jim.
Different era.
Right.
Why is it a head's a head,
Yeah, yep.
rib's a rib,
Hard is hard.
heart is heart, and they took he didn't wait till he's mentally or till he still went in swelled
Yeah,
up and shit.
yeah.
Almost swell. He was good. He was good, but now they fight and everybody's got their things that they deal with and all that. All of us, but I'm just saying,
You guys got to quit
I
being
would
so
not
critical
fight
of these
Canelo
warriors, man.
after 2 years.
Hey, but listen, if he's ready, another Ronnie Shields
Now, Sugar
fighter,
Ray, when he fought Hagler,
It wasn't 2 years though, was it? It was
Oh.
a little over a year, right?
no,
Was it 2 years?
It was more than 2 years.
Yeah, about 5.
But Sugar Ray, that's why Sugar Ray was
Yeah. Like 4 or
again.
5 years.
You don't even
A lot
talk
of people,
about
a lot
Sugar Ray.
of, a lot of people say he
wasn't
lost
born
that
yet,
fight.
I don't
A
think.
lot of people
He
say he
did.
lost that
but
fight.
but Hagler should have blew through him.
I thought he would have.
Hagler should have blew through
People
him.
thought he might get
Sugar
hurt.
Ray.
Yeah, but I told you guys, Hagler wasn't that good. He's blue collar.
No.
But didn't
Why take
Hagler
him
try
down?
to go conventional and Sugar Ray beat him out of that stance? He went
I
back.
don't-
He's
I'm
not
so
the
Why
athlete.
not
Unbelievably
say? Why not
impressed.
give Sugar Ray
I
the
think
credit?
Hagler.
Just give Sugar Ray
I
the
think
credit,
Hagler
Jim.
shaved his head with a brick. I don't think he paid for that, Lou. Now yours, it looked like you paid for that.
Now let me say this: how many times have you heard? Johnny Bench said, "I don't have it anymore." Willie
Yeah.
Mays said, "It's time to say
Teofimo
goodbye
Lopez
to
said that
America."
2 fights
Because
ago.
they know they see that fastball coming. just can't pull the
Can't
trigger.
do it, yeah.
They can't pull the trigger. You're off all that time. Your skills, I understand about wrestling, but your skills start to diminish. You're wasting
Muhammad
that
Ali
time.
lit the Olympic torch. He knew he didn't have it no more.
Oh, come on.
He announced his retirement
No,
in
that was
Atlanta.
years-
that was years
Really?
later.
Years later.
Really?
Jim.
Really?
Oh my God! You made it sound like that was 2 weeks after the Burbank fight.
How you going to disrespect
Wow.
Muhammad
I'm
Ali?
just
That
asking.
was one of the most.
I'm just
No,
that
saying.
was one of the
no,
He
most.
said Willie Mays.
No, but when Mays was still playing.
That was inspirational.
Mays
For him to have
retired
that
in
and still light the
73.
torch. I was worried he
Mays
did it. Jim.
retired
Come on,
while he
man.
was-
Was that 84 or 88? Muhammad Ali did that.
I don't know.
It
but
was late. It was late.
96.
I think
was
it was
late.
96.
No, it's 96 in
96.
Atlanta.
Jim. Yes, in Atlanta.
Yeah, no,
Come
no,
on,
that's
Jim.
a different ballgame. Mays,
Jim mixing Olympics.
Willie Mays,
names up.
arguably
Come
the
on,
greatest
Jim.
baseball player of all time, couldn't pull the trigger.
It's wearing off,
Time to say
Claudio.
goodbye. I know.
We got to change
We're a little bit
topics.
over.
It's wearing
But
off.
if I'm look, I'm not being hypocritical.
When did Doc Ellis say it was so much?
Oh,
His
come
no
on,
hitter
man.
was June 12th. No, his no hitter against San Diego. Anyway, what I'm saying is this, and Luther and I kind of separate each other, like fan business part of it. As a fan, I'm with Luther 3,000%. He should fight Benavidez. As a
This is a great
businessman,
fight.
Hell
This is a-
no. I ain't fighting Benavidez because if I lose, I lost to Bivol. I lost to Benavidez, and now my shine's starting to come off as
you're
being
talking about
the
Canelo.
greatest. Yes, as one of the greatest of all time. Which again, I asked Jim a favor. I said, Jim, turn me into a Canelo fan. He hasn't done it. He's talking about, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
But when you move like this, how is he going to be remembered? They're going to say, yeah, he was good, but he
Who did
didn't
he
fight
fight?
this guy.
Who
He
did he
didn't
fight?
fight this guy. He didn't fight this guy. There's 4 guys that may be in the Hall of Fame that he
Who did
hasn't fought.
Evander duck?
Nobody.
Who did
Nobody.
Muhammad duck?
Nobody. That's why they're
Who's
they're
Sugar Ray
looked at.
duck?
Nobody.
Who did Hagler duck?
Sugar Ray was out of
Nobody.
boxing
Who did
for
Hearns
5
duck?
years.
Who
They
did
didn't
Hearns
duck
duck?
it. Nobody.
Who did
Those
Duran
guys
duck?
fought.
Who
They
did Duran
fought
duck?
everyone.
Who did Duran duck?
That's why it was
Sugar
the
Ray
greatest.
ducked
Nobody.
Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor
Oh,
was
no.
begging
No,
for
no,
Sugar
listen.
Ray.
No.
Begging
Sugar
for
Ray-
Aaron Pryor
Sugar
ran into some
Sugar
issues
Ray-
on his own.
He was
No,
begging.
right.
He ran into some issues on his own.
Alex Aguelo
Let
found
me
time
ask
to
you a
fight him.
question. How, in all honesty, how can you say Canelo was better than Sugar Ray?
He wasn't better than Sugar Ray Robinson.
Leonard.
Oh yeah, he was much better.
In what way?
Much
In what
better.
way?
Number
In what
one,
way?
he ain't phony.
I ain't got nothing to
Number
do
one,
with
he ain't
it,
phony.
which I don't think
Sugar
he
Ray-
is. Forget about
Resume.
that.
Resume.
Sugar Ray-
Look at
In
the resume.
ring.
Okay, how?
In the ring.
Skills, resume, how is he
I'll
better?
ask you, does he have a better jab?
No.
Does he have better feet? Hell no.
No.
Does he have better finisher?
No.
Does
Sugar
he have
Ray-
more power?
Yes.
Okay,
Because
you-
he's fighting bigger guys.
Yes.
I'll give that to Canelo because he's a
Yes.
bigger guy and he's knocked out bigger guys. But
Sugar
Sugar Ray
Ray-
was a monster finisher.
Did-
But the reason I say that because Canelo's knocked out guys.
Did he get
from
knocked down by
140 all the
Kevin
way to
Howard?
175.
No.
What? But that's when he made his comeback.
Who's that? Terry Norris?
He was
Terry
old.
Norris?
He was old.
Oh,
You basically
now he old. Sugar Ray's never fought
Can I ask you a
older than what
question? Can I
Canelo
ask you a
is right
question?
now. Sugar
You
Ray was
like-
done
you like Terry
when he was
Bradshaw, right?
Canela's age.
You like Terry
Wait a
Bradshaw?
minute. Wait
He
a
fought
minute.
better guys.
Terry,
Forget that.
wait a minute. Sugar Ray Leonard never was the age fighting that Canelo is right now.
But he fought
He was
wars.
off-
Canelo
fought better
he fought when he
competition.
was off for 5 years.
He still fought wars.
He fought better
Hearns
competition.
wasn't a war.
How many Hall of Famers? Who has more
me
Hall of
ask you a
Famers on
question.
the record?
We don't know because
You keep talking about-
He ain't fought 20 world champions.
We got 1 minute. Let me ask you this.
He
You
fought-
keep
he fought
talking
more
about
Hall of
Muhammad
Famers.
fighting Burbick and
He fought Kim Buchanan.
And Kim Buchanan was- he didn't
Kim
fight him.
Buchanan.
Duran
Yeah.
did.
Duran
No.
did.
Duran did.
No, Sugar Ray fought him too.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Sugar
Let me ask
Ray
you a
fought
question.
him too.
When you think of
He
Franco
went right
Harris,
to Scott,
when you
man.
think of Franco Harris, one of the greatest of all time, do you think of Franco in a steel uniform or Seattle?
Both.
No, you don't. No way.
Steelers, stop.
No, you don't.
Nobody remembers
Everybody,
him outside
you
of the
don't
Steeler
think of
uniform.
Willie Mays with the Mets. You don't
True,
think
that's
of.
true.
You know what I mean?
San
So you
Fran.
should think of Muhammad with
Exactly.
Burbick and Holmes.
You think,
No,
think
I-
about him in his prime, Jim.
Huh?
You think about him in his prime, in the 70s.
Wait,
when he
do
was-
we think of
his
Jim
prime,
5
he
years
was-
ago or now?
We think of Jim when he was running back for the
Right.
town, for Gateway.
Greatest years of Cassius Clay Muhammad Ali's life, it was spent out of the ring. Those 3.5 years
Okay.
was the greatest years of. We never seen this.
We
right?
don't know that, though. We saw
So I
greatness.
got to bring the Burbick in.
How?
And
Why?
the Larry Holmes.
We saw what he
and,
did when he came back.
And you
We
mentioned
saw what he
The
did
Leon
before.
Spinks. Was he in this?
We know about
He was
that.
world
But
champion
you
when
talk about
Leon
Sugar Ray
Spinks.
when he fought Terry Norris. Sugar Ray was done.
He was younger than Canelo is right now when Terry Norris beat him.
But age, I don't want to hear about the age.
It's
how
all
many
about
miles
wars.
You guys don't want to hear about
It's
it.
all about
miles you have on
wars.
you. It's how many miles you have on
He
you.
didn't have that
Wars.
many miles.
Sugar Ray?
Hall of
He had a
Famers.
divorce.
He had Hall of Famers on his record. All right, chill.
All right. As always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.